Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, I'm your host, Phil Coutu, and you're live on Insurance Claims Radio. We got a great panel of hosts today. We've got Ed Levy from the Atlas Law Firm, Colorado-based attorney, specializes in hail claims, troubled claims, underpaid claims. To the left of me is Mike Neely, Pro Roof Solutions. He's a roofing expert, many years in the Colorado market, a native Coloradian, I can't even say it
Colorado
today.
right.
Colorado Indian? I don't know.
But he's an Indian.
A native from Colorado. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. To the right of me is Stevie Solomon, shingle rep. So he's got a tremendous amount of experience when it comes to shingles, manufacturer experience, installation type things. Across from me is the great James D'Angelo.
The one and only. Whoops.
Yeah, he is a public insurance adjuster. He is also a general contractor. And we're going to jump right into it today. Speaking about insurance, our show is designed to help the consumer navigate their hail losses in Colorado. We specialize in property damage, tendency to go more towards large loss, complex, troubled claims, underpaid claims. Say an insurance company says you've got cosmetic damage, you have no coverage. That's the claim you need a second opinion on, maybe a third opinion. We specialize in looking at those tough claims. If we take your claim on, we will fund your claim. We'll only take your claim on if we believe in your claim. And if we're going to fund your claim, we're going to win your claim.
I want to go one step further with that, Phil. This is James D'Angelo. Not only will we fund it, have the experts come, we will have the right experts that match your claim. We'll have the right attorney that matches your claim if need be. But what's more important is at the end of the day, we're not going to give you a lesser product. Rooftop Roofing is going to perform the best product that policy can buy.
Well, that's an important thing. People sometimes think, oh, my insurance is only paying $100,000. Well, you got to remember, you signed up with them, and Ed will test this. You're under contract with them. You've given them a premium to have a contract with them for them to deliver services. So why does everybody, as a consumer, think that they get to dictate everything? It's the policy and the language in the policy determining what is covered and what's not covered, not what they tell you. So I mean, I'm not saying insurance companies are bad or adjusters are bad, but let's be honest, it is business for profit. So you need to know your contract. And if you don't want to do that, we understand. That's why we've got professional public adjusters and roofers here. The guys that are sitting at this table are the elite in the business. They've got many years experience. Check out their CVs. You'll be shocked when you compare them to your regular sales guy in that. It's night and day. So a whole different group of guys. I've been doing this since I'm 13. And we've got an attorney here. We've got public adjusters. We got a rep with us today, manufacturer's rep, another roofer, Mike Neely, been in the business for 30 plus years. I've been in the business 33 years on all sides of the fence. And so today's show is designed to help you navigate that. Always get a second opinion, but get a real second opinion. And if you think that even the second opinion is not right, it's up to you as the homeowner or the commercial property owner to look out for your
I'm going to tell you right
interest.
here. Just give us a call. It's going to cost you nothing to find out the true value of your claim. We're going to shoot you straight. If you've been treated correctly by the carrier, we're going to tell you. But if you haven't, we're going to tell you, hey, we're going to put a strategy together for this claim. We're going to come see Ed Levy, at Atlas Claims, and say, Ed, here's what we've got. Here's the policy. Here's what Phil and I found. Let's put this in front of them and see if we can't get this paid.
One of the things that we guarantee at rooftoproofing.com is if we take on your multi-million-dollar claim, even if you've been paid zero, we're going to fund that claim. We're going to make it zero risk to you. And even though we use the best attorneys in the business, we're going to make sure it doesn't come out of rebuilding of your property. Okay?
Very important.
Yeah, we're going to tell you everything's spelled out straight at the front. If we do have to incur costs or it's an extremely difficult claim, we'll tell you up front. And we'll also tell you, because a lot of times roofers get a bad rap because insurance companies out there say, oh, there's no damage. Sometimes they're right. I've worked on that side of the fence for many years. However, a lot of times they're wrong. And you don't know what the truth is. but you've got professionals here that have been on all sides of the fence. They're going to tell you yes.
Insurance adjusters are not experts, okay? They're adjusters. Some have more experience than others, but they're not roofers. They're not contractors.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. I just got the signal. We're going to be right back and talk about the experience the average adjuster has.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
All right, we are back and you're live with Insurance Claims Radio. We're designed to help the consumer navigate their hail claims. Colorado, we do work around the country and the nation, also specializing in hail. You've got an expert panel at the table today. We've got Ed Levy, a Colorado attorney that specializes in insurance, Mike Neely from Pro Roof Solutions. I'm Phil Coutu, your host, and you can reach me at rooftop-roofing.com or 303-997-4247. We've got a shingle rep in the house, Stevie Solomon, sitting to the right of me, and James D'Angelo, a general contractor and licensed public adjuster. All right, guys, let's pick it back up where we left off.
What were we talking about last week?
Well, we were talking about fighting for the client, for the
Perfect.
policyholder, and getting for them what they're entitled to under that policy. And that's the whole goal. Colorado law is very favorable for policyholders. It holds insurance companies to higher standards in terms of unreasonable delay or bad faith non-payment. But if your claim's been denied, you know you want a new roof. That's kind of as simple as there. And when you bring in this team of experts, they'll get you that new roof. And as Phil mentioned, it's not going to be something that affects the quality of the repair of that roof. What we're looking for is justice. We want to get you that roof.
Yeah, and there's a lot involved in doing that. This is James D'Angelo, once again, public adjuster, licensed contractor. There's a lot involved in proving your loss. We had mentioned earlier in another show, it is up to the insured to prove the loss. You have to prove your own damages. There's a lot to that.
Yeah, and we were talking before the break about proving the damages and about adjuster experience. So a lot of things that I noticed, and I spent a lot of time on the insurance industry side, a lot of adjusters, honestly, we'd get people, and I ran a catastrophe claims company, and I'd get people that took a 3-day course. It was actually a 1-day course at one point in time a while back, and they were an adjuster. In Colorado, they do not license the insurance company's adjusters, and they fought the licensing. Public adjusters are licensed in Colorado. I'm a libertarian type kind of guy, so I'm not a big fan of lots of licensing. However, it is kind of the Wild West. And the problem is that whether you're 70 years old and new to adjusting or 20 years old and you come up and they give you a laptop and you're clicking items, you have very little real hands-on construction experience. You don't have that at this table. So a lot of times the adjuster isn't even being dishonest with you. He's just completely ignorant in his estimating skills.
Well, here, they don't have a duty to take your roof and put it under a microscope to prove that it's actually fractured. There's no duty on the insurance side, in the carrier side. There are damages, and everybody sitting at this table knows it. There are damages that the naked eye cannot see. And hail damage will manifest itself over time. Once the statute of limitations runs out on that policy, you're basically SOL. Isn't that correct there, Ed?
Absolutely. It's a contract like any other contract, and if the policy lapses or you don't have coverage, you don't have coverage.
Now, that's a really big deal. The guys just brought up, but the statute of limitations. If you look in your policy, a lot of insurance companies and residential say you have 1 year to bring suit. There is a law that was passed a little time back that gives you actually 3 years from the date of loss. But a commercial policy, you have 2 years. And let's talk about how that rolls sometimes. Sometimes you get a hailstorm, it might be August. Your adjuster gets out October, then Christmas comes, you don't look at the claim. You're getting your estimates in the spring. You start realizing within about a year your estimate's low. Roofers are coming out. Well, my insurance company says this multi-million-dollar roof, stucco exterior windows. A lot of these are repairable. They wrote $300,000. The adjuster's like, okay, we'll work with your contractor, but time goes by. When you're coming up to that 2-year statute of limitations, it's pretty important. Sometimes it's a gray area. I'll let Ed talk about the 2-year. We like to use from the date of loss to be safe. There is times that you can extend it because of egregious acts maybe the insurance company did to buy you some more time, but you don't want to take that route. You want to look at that your SOL. The smartest way to look at it is that I could be SOL 2 years from the date of loss. So if you're still negotiating with your insurance company coming up to 2 years, if I'm handling your claim as the public adjuster or the roofer, I'm going to tell you, listen, we're coming to 2 years. We need to file a suit. We can stay the suit, go into appraisal often. We can do things. So I'm going to get you to the attorney quick because we want to protect our rights.
Yeah, or let's let Ed talk here, get a tolling agreement, extend it.
Yes, tolling agreements also fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I have to say, every attorney is going to urge an abundance of caution when it comes to a statute of limitation. Absolutely. So if you have to do something, file the case if you've got merit to do it. And there's rules for attorneys as to whether or not they can even file a case. But your attorney should be involved long before the statute of limitations comes up. Everybody should know where
and that's a big deal.
Besides, how about attorneys that actually work in this space?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another.
No, but let's talk about that.
Because, well, Ed mentioned your attorney. Most people think their attorney can handle this type of work.
No.
Okay, all of us sitting at this table
you need
says
someone who understands insurance and when
you will pay.
No, it's like hiring a carpenter to do your electrical work.
Yeah,
on your
you
house.
will
It's not
pay
smart.
for your attorney's education, and you'll pay for it out of your claim.
Listen, when you're hiring an attorney, you want it to be one of their main specialties. I'm doing insurance.
in
Period.
fact,
Now, hold on. And then
property
property.
insurance. Ed, how
And
long
then-
have you been in this industry, property
Well,
insurance?
I've been an attorney for 15 years, and I've been working in specifically in insurance for about the last 2.
Okay.
And it's a very specialized area. It's very unique. But prior to becoming an attorney, I was a CPA with a national firm that specialized in the real estate industry. So I have a lot of experience with multifamily houses.
You understand value, don't you, or a loss of value?
I've done a lot of feasibility studies, and I've done cash flow analysis, and I can tell you what a property is worth based on the income it generates. I can tell you about the diminution of value. If you need a new roof, I can tell you what land value is, less demolition costs if the total property is a total loss.
Hired.
Right. So, getting back to how's important, don't, like, when you're working with your claims professional, it's time to at least get a protective suit, or I call it a protective suit. That's not really the legitimate wording, but I just use it as a simple term for layman's. We're going to get a protective suit filed to protect our rights.
To piggyback on that, like I said, in abundance of caution, you are never going to miss that statute of limitations deadline. But as James said, you were going to go talk to the insurance company and say, let's get a tolling agreement here. Let's try to maintain lower costs because the insurance company has an obligation to work with you in good faith and to work to resolve the claim. And nobody wants to go rushing to state court or to federal court and doing a lawsuit. Nobody wants that huge lawsuit. You only do it when you need to do it.
Right. So a lot of times, though, when the statute of limitations coming up, we're already prepared and we've exhausted everything. But I do have a case right now where I've personally done the tolling agreement 4 times because we did it 2 months at a time. It's still an appraisal. We want, even though we're in appraisal, that's great. We want to protect our rights. If the appraisal comes out really high, we might have statutory damages. All that means is that, hey, the appraisal comes out high, we're getting our fair amount. Now, the insurance company really delayed. We want to protect our statutory damages if we're going to go after them and sue them for additional monies like damages or unfair, unreasonable delay. So it's very important. And then there's times where I've had people call me where it's a week left to the 2-year deadline. It's a multi-million-dollar job. You don't want to leave it to that. We can jump through a lot of hoops with our team. We can generally cover you off, but it really is shotgun.
You want to have
It's
your
not,
ducks in a row way before that.
You don't have your ducks in a row.
It's like we were talking
We're
earlier,
filing a quick
mediation.
suit.
Yeah.
Like, we're just trying to protect your statute of limitations, but that's not how you want to do it. We want to be there 3 to 6 months before.
Right. These cases are intensely fact-specific, and it's part of a story. We told the insurance company there was more damage, and they said they laughed at us and went away for 3 months. And if you show that they're doing the unreasonable delay, if you're showing that they're acting in bad faith, and you're showing that you've been telling them from day one this claim is a lot larger than you're saying, that helps later on in court. And you need to have an attorney involved doing that and helping build the claim if you can see where this is headed.
Plus, Ed, why don't you talk also, there's federal courts, There's state courts. Explain to the audience the differences.
Sure.
Maybe throw in the time frames too.
Yeah.
Now, we've done a lot of these all together, so I want the public to understand the time frames. When you get into bigger claims, you get pushed to federal court, that kind of thing.
Or the insurance company could take it to federal court as well. Our system is a dual system. We have a federal system of limited courts, and we have a state system here in Colorado of also a varying degree of courts, but essentially state courts can handle most claims. A district court in Colorado can handle most claims. But in times when there's what we call a diversity of citizenship, you've got an insurance company in Indiana or Illinois and a claim here in Colorado, and the claim is in excess of a certain dollar amount, the insurance company can say, hey, we don't want a local Colorado state looking at this. We'd like to take this to federal court because we believe across the country there's more consistency on how federal courts treat the insurance company and how they treat this kind of claim, and we'd like to be able to use federal law and do things to that extent. From that same. So a lot of times you'll see an insurance company just simply remove the case from the state court and take it to federal court. Other times, like on the case that went to the Supreme Court for you, it may be better to be in the federal court first, and then if there are any questions, that question would be referred to state court or the state Supreme Court for issues of, say, Colorado law, and then go back to the federal court for eventual resolution.
Yeah, so what Ed Levy's talking about there is Rooftop, my company. We had a claim that went against American Family, and it took 5 years to resolve. It went to the Supreme Court of Colorado, and we're going to be right back after a break to talk about that case.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. We're here with our panel of experts picking up after the break, and we were speaking about a case personally that I had under Rooftop. It was under Rooftop Roofing or Rooftop Restoration. You can find it on the internet. I think it's at 365 Law. There's a great article about it if you Google that. And it was about unreasonable delay, trying to define if the unreasonable delay is a penalty or a statutory damage, and if it's 1 year or 2 years that's apply, and also if a contractor could bring it. Anyways, it's a great case. It took us 5 years just to certify the question. The actual case is a small residential case. The insurance company said it was 1,000. They came up to 3,000. My company, myself, I was the insurance professional, says that it is 70,000. We're actually going to trial on it here later on this year. I think it's late spring. It's going to hit. And Mr. Ed Levy too, he'll be consulting on that case as well as we get ready for a trial. So it's an interesting case to watch.
I want to jump in here and ask one question on that win for you folks. Did you also determine when the clock starts? Is it time of loss, or is it when you feel that the infraction took place, the delay took place, or the bad faith? And that's hard to nail down. Ed, can you speak to that?
It's actually case specific.
Okay.
I mean, there's no bright line that you have
isn't.
180 days or whatever. It's like, at what point does it become unreasonable? At what, the reasonable man standard.
Well, delay, there's a reason I brought this up. It doesn't happen over one night. Delay takes time. Delay takes a lot of time. And I've had carriers in the past more than once say it starts at date of loss. And I've had insured say, well, I'm beyond the date of loss for the 1 year. Now it's 2 years. Is that correct?
Actually, 3 on residential, 2 on
Interesting.
commercial.
That's good information for our listening audience.
Even though the contract might say you got to bring suit within 1 year, the statute overrides that.
Yeah, and this all falls under experience.
Bingo.
If you don't have experience, you're going to be left.
I would bet you 90% of roofers have no idea it's even 3 years.
Why would they? They don't do this type of work. We do the tough claims. That's our industry. We do the tough claims.
Well, you know what's interesting is that a lot of times people say, "Oh, Phil, well, you're on the other side." A lot of times you're the advocate for the consumer, which let me tell you, I still do consult with an insurance company. However, I'm like, no, I'm not biased. I know fair well that all the claims I get are bad claims. That's why people are bringing them to me. When I was an adjuster, I had plenty of good claims, and there's plenty of good adjusters out there. We're talking about certain insurance companies or certain types of adjusters that are there to limit the liability, even though you paid a premium for your policy and expect certain coverage. So, you know, the one claim that me and James just finished is down in the Springs, and it was a large church, a religious facility, and there was a cosmetic exclusion for hail, and the roof got smashed with baseball plus hail, and they paid $0. It took us a year and a half. They wouldn't budge. Anyways, we finally settled it for about $1.5 million approximately. And funny thing is, the insurance company goes, "Oh, we're a really honest company." And my thought about it was,
Be careful.
well, my thought, I can't name the company, it's confidential, but my thought was like, well, if you're really honest, why didn't you pay? The estimate was $950,000+.
Right.
So why didn't you pay the $950,000? The reason it was 1.5 is because we had attorney's fees and damages and time. So we did settle mediation. It wasn't a trial. But they tried to say they're still honest. I'm like, but you had all the evidence from me a year ago. So you could have stepped up then. You were hiding behind the cosmetic exclusion. Now, I'm an adjuster, so I've been on that side. So all I'm going to tell you is it's crap when they talk like that.
Well, it's even worse than that,
They just
Phil.
want to pat themselves
Phil,
on the back.
Phil,
Okay.
after a year and a half passed, they finally did hire, after the attorney filed suit, they did hire an engineer. They hired their own engineer,
Right.
and their own engineer
Okay.
came out and said there was $400,000 worth of damage, and they still didn't pay that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we
that's
all
a-
saw the hail down there in Colorado Springs. I mean,
Well,
it was on the.
But let me tell the public
The
out there.
exclusion
Yeah,
came
let me
into
tell
play.
the understand. The adjuster hid behind the exclusion
for all the damage.
for all the damage. Now they had a roof exclusion, so let me explain it. This particular claim had a cosmetic roof exclusion on a metal roof, a monster metal roof, 400+ squares, and some flat roofing. And they wrote $0, and they sent this particular church a letter that said that you have no coverage based on your exclusion in the policy. So they had a bunch of roofers, even had a few public adjusters stop by before they met us, and they said, "Oh yeah, you don't have coverage." And James stopped by and then brought it to me, and we worked it together. And we said, well, let's see if they got coverage. And first thing I said is, this is ridiculous what they did. Okay, there's a cosmetic roof exclusion they can kind of hide behind. But what about the other $180,000, $200,000 damage on the ground and on the exterior wall of the buildings that isn't excluded, that they slid under the exclusion? So that's right there. That's getting to a level higher
The
than a
insured had
reasonable
no
delay.
clue.
Right, the insured had no clue. So we had to tell the insured, and you know, honestly, when we come out, we're a very professional company, but when we tell them, hey, we're going to take your claim on, we're going to pay everything, 0 risk to you. Only thing you're going to have to pay is your deductible or anything that's not under the policy if you want the work done. They look at us like, yeah, but we've already been told, our broker told us we have no coverage. I'm like, we're taking this on for free. We're going to invest upwards of $100,000 into your claim. We're telling you, let me take a better look at it. We think you have coverage. Now, the reason we thought they had coverage was because we read the cosmetic exclusions. We could poke holes through it. Plus, we had baseball-sized hail, and it was a non-structural cosmetic damage. When you get in baseball-sized hail, you're structural damage. So we were like, they're just lying. And then they had their engineer come in and write that the hail was a lot smaller. Surprise there. This is why you should always hire your own experts or get guys like us to hire the right experts to take a look. They're saying it's golf ball
Wow, what
hail.
was
Well,
very
let me
interesting.
jump into that
Yeah,
because
please.
both sides always do have experts, and most people think, well, you can hire an expert to say it's nighttime, you can hire an expert to say it's daytime, but if you've got a good, high-quality expert who can justify in layman terms, simple terms, because everything should be reduced to simplicity in these cases. They're fact-intensive, but the story should be simple. That credibility of that expert, that right expert, seals the deal. Because then we're just arguing over interpretation of facts.
What's very important here, their expert had took the hail sample from 8 miles away. We pulled sample from our resources for that exact
We
location.
pulled it for that exact location. Their expert got up to 0.8 or 0.13 of a miles, if I remember. Now let's talk about it. So we're gonna make this our next show too, but we're gonna get into town. We're gonna talk about the experts because let me tell you, the insurance company has some great experts. Honestly, I don't think they're all great, but when you see their CVs, it can be very, very misleading. It's I always called it, so I've worked on both sides, and I called it dog and pony show. Every side, when you got really great guys that know what they're doing, when I was a lot younger, I'd be like, wow, man, they got some great guys on their side, and I'm working for the insurance, and they're experting up. I'm like, oh boy, we got a problem. Because I darn well know, I've read my expert reports as an adjuster, and sometimes I'm a professional contractor, I'm a licensed roofer, I've been a GC, I've been a roofer since I'm 13, a GC since I'm 18, and an adjuster spanning 3 decades. So when I see our expert reports sometimes, let's just say that I guess it is the borrower is beholden to the lender. And when we're paying those checks every week as an insurance company, they're going to write more favorable to us. I don't care what anyone says. The bias is there. I've seen it exist many, many times. There are a few guys out there.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you, Phil.
You don't. And so that's what we're talking about is you're experting up. So our job is to go get experts that are truthful and honest and poke holes in their expert reports. They're going to try to poke holes in ours, but you know what? The truth always wins out.
And the insurance companies also bring in new things, policy exclusions, right? That's new. It hasn't been existing. Right?
Let's talk about that. When an engineer's told there's a policy exclusion, he's like, oh, this isn't covered. He writes a different way. He's not supposed to be doing that, but he writes a different way. But you know what? He doesn't have the training or the experience on that policy exclusion. He doesn't understand insurance.
He doesn't own the protocol to even talk about the coverage.
And it isn't the expert's job to determine liability or whether or not there's coverage. It's the expert's job to determine the damages that exist. The lawyer and the judge and the jury will decide if there is coverage and to what extent.
But every day these experts are told there's a cosmetic exclusion.
Oh yes,
we're going to wrap
in their reports.
We're going to wrap that up and come back on our next show. Continue exactly where we are. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host Phil Coutu. 303-997-4247. RooftopRoofing.com. We'll see you back at the next show.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.